Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Black Corner. Today, we are exploring the profound words of 12 Black presidents. Get ready to be motivated and enlightened as we dive into these timeless quotes that champion Black empowerment. The first quote is from Julius Nyerere, who was the first president of Tanzania, and he said, "Education is not a way to escape poverty, it is a way of fighting it." In this quote, Julius emphasizes that education is not merely a means of avoiding or escaping poverty. Instead, it is a powerful tool for actively combating and addressing poverty. He advocates for the potential of education to break the cycle of poverty by equipping individuals with knowledge, skills, and critical thinking abilities. By framing education as a tool for fighting poverty, Nyerere highlights its role in creating long-term, sustainable solutions to socio-economic challenges. Nelson Mandela, first Black president of South Africa, said, "May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears." Mandela's quote encourages individuals to make decisions based on their aspirations and positive visions for the future rather than being driven by fear or insecurity. By choosing hope over fear, Mandela is advocating for a mindset that aligns with progress, optimism, and a belief in positive change. Samora Machel, first president of Mozambique, said, "Personalities and fame pass, the revolution must remain." In this quote by Samora, there is an assertion that individual figures and their fame are temporary, but the impact of a revolution should endure. His statement highlights the collective nature of revolutionary movements, emphasizing the importance of maintaining the spirit and goals of the revolution beyond the presence of any particular individual. The first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, said, "Action without thought is empty. Thought without action is blind." In this quote, Nkrumah points out the importance of a balanced approach to life. The quote encourages a harmonious integration of both thoughtful planning and purposeful action for meaningful and effective outcomes. Thomas Sankara, former president of Burkina Faso, stated, "The enemies of a people are those who keep them in ignorance." In this quote, Sankara identifies ignorance as a significant obstacle to the progress and empowerment of a people. By referring to those who keep people in ignorance as enemies, he suggests that deliberate efforts to withhold knowledge and information are detrimental to the well-being of a community, therefore suggesting that an informed populace is better equipped to make informed decisions, challenge oppressive systems, and actively participate in their own development. Ahmed Sékou Touré, first president of Guinea, stated, "We prefer poverty in liberty than riches in slavery." In this quote, Ahmed Sékou Touré expresses a strong preference for freedom and self-determination over material wealth obtained under oppressive conditions. This sentiment reflects a commitment to principles of sovereignty, dignity, and resistance against any form of subjugation or exploitation. Léopold Sédar Senghor, first president of Senegal, said, "Let us listen to the voices of our forebears. In the smoky cabin, souls that wish us well are murmuring." This quote emphasizes the value of honoring the wisdom and guidance of those who have come before us. The reference to forebears suggests a connection to the traditions, culture, and ancestral knowledge that have shaped the identity of the people. Senghor is encouraging a respectful and attentive listening to the wisdom of the past, indicating that the collective well-being and aspirations of the community are embedded in the accumulated knowledge and experiences of preceding generations. Patrice Lumumba, first Prime Minister of the DRC, said, "The day will come when history will speak. But it will not be the history which will be taught in Brussels, Paris, Washington, or the United Nations. Africa will write its own history, and in both North and South it will be a history of glory and dignity." Lumumba's quote envisions a future where Africa takes control of its own narrative and writes its history independent of external influences. The quote expresses a desire for a more authentic and empowering history, one that reflects the glory and dignity of the African people. This statement is a call for decolonization, asserting the right of Africans to define their own past and shape their own future. The next quote is from Haile Selassie, the former emperor of Ethiopia, who said, "A man who says I have learned enough and will learn no further should be considered as knowing nothing at all." In this quote, Haile Selassie highlights the significance of continuous learning and the folly of claiming to have reached a point of complete knowledge. By acknowledging the limits of one's knowledge and remaining open to continual learning, individuals can avoid intellectual stagnation and contribute more meaningfully to their own development and the world around them. Joyce Banda, former president of Malawi, tells us that the seeds of success in every nation on earth are best planted in women and children. Joyce Banda's quote underlines the pivotal role that women and children play in the success and development of a nation. Referring to them as seeds of success implies that investing in the well-being, education, and empowerment of women and children is fundamental to fostering a prosperous and thriving society. Robert Mugabe, the first president of Zimbabwe, stated Africa must revert to what it was before the imperialists divided it. These are artificial divisions which we, in our Pan-African concept, will seek to remove. In this quote, Robert Mugabe expresses a desire for Africa to return to its pre-colonial unity, asserting that the divisions imposed by imperialist powers were artificial and detrimental. The term imperialists refers to the European colonial powers that, during the scramble for Africa, carved up the continent without regard for its existing ethnic, cultural, and historical boundaries. Mugabe advocates for a Pan-African concept that seeks to remove these artificial divisions, emphasizing a vision of a united Africa. Kenneth Kaunda, the first president of Zambia, said, "When you go in search of honey, you must expect to be stung by bees." The act of seeking honey is often associated with a sweet reward, but the presence of bees implies that challenges or setbacks are inevitable in the pursuit of that reward. Kaunda is likely expressing the idea that, in any endeavor or quest for something valuable, one should be prepared for obstacles or difficulties along the way. Finally, we hear from John Mahama, former president of Ghana, who stated that Africa does not need your sympathy or overseas development assistance. Africa needs a fair chance to trade with the rest of the world and amongst ourselves. John Mahama's quote emphasizes Africa's desire for economic empowerment and self-reliance rather than reliance on sympathy or foreign aid. He advocates for a shift from a charity-based approach to a more inclusive and mutually beneficial economic relationship, where Africa can actively participate in global trade on fair terms. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let us know in the comments which quote resonated with you the most. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, stay inspired.